My second year of college was a difficult year. I wish I could say that it was due to organic chemistry, or boyfriend drama, or anything other than what actually happened. I started out my year in a great dorm. I loved my hallmates, my room, and the fact that a dining hall was less than 100 feet away. Obviously, I spent a lot of time there and got to know the staff. I'd worked in a restaurant for 2 years before going to school, and I could identify with the struggles that come with being a food service worker, especially because I was at a notoriously snobby school, so I sympathised with the staff, having to deal with rich kids and their entitled bullshit. Most of the staff were lovely people, but one in particular seemed to take a real interest in me. He was a young white man, not much older than myself, named Matt. He always went out of his way to talk to me and ask me questions about myself and how school was going. One evening, I was doing homework in the dining hall around closing hours. Matt sat with me and we chatted for a bit. He said he was off work and heading to his car to smoke a bowl before he went home, and asked if I wanted to join. I had only smoked a few times before, but I enjoyed it, and he seemed harmless enough, so I agreed. I was still very much a sheltered child, and to me, he didn't seem like a bad guy, so he couldn't be. We lit up in his car in the parking lot behind the dining hall, and I got a glimpse of the real Matt. He ranted about how his ex-girlfriend had recently dumped him. He called her a bitch and a whore and told me unnecessary details about her apparently kinky sex life. The virgin in me was incredibly uncomfortable, only made worse by the paranoia brought on by weed. He also went on about how much he hated the students at my university, especially the girls, saying they treated him as less than a human. I was completely speechless, and when I didn't respond, he tried to apologise for going off, saying that I was different and that he wanted to get to know me better. I remember blurting out that I needed to go and got the hell out of Dodge. He got out too and shouted after me to come back and thought he might chase me, but he didn't, and I got back to my room safely. I avoided that dining hall like the plague for the next week, and I didn't see him again until one night that still haunts me to this day. Around midnight, I was walking back to my dorm alone from a function at a Christian centre, which was only about 2 blocks away. I know walking by myself was stupid, but the buses weren't running, and I felt bad asking someone to walk with me because there were some steep inclines between the centre and my dorm. I was walking along the empty residential street that was just around the corner from my dorm when I noticed a black SUV that was creeping along behind me. It was going so slow that it was hard not to notice. At first, I tried not to panic, but it quickly clicked that it was the same car as Matt's. I started to run when it sped up ahead of me, and a man in a ski mask jumped out at me. I just knew it was Matt. From here, things happened very fast. I tried to run the other way, but he grabbed me from behind and was struggling to get my wrists into handcuffs while simultaneously pulling me towards his car. I was screaming at the top of my lungs and fighting like hell. We fought each other for a few minutes, like that, before he dropped the handcuffs, and I was able to slam my heel into his foot. I think those two things, and my relentless struggling, shook his confidence, because he ran back to his car and sped off. Freaked out, I ran back to my room, constantly looking back to see if he was after me. Thankfully, he didn't follow, and I was able to call the police. I was very lucky that night, not only because I got away, but also because he was caught shortly after I called 911. He was arrested, and when the police searched his car, they found handcuffs, duct tape, and a knife. During interrogation, he confessed that he was bitter and depressed over his breakup and wanted to make someone feel pain like he feels it. Nearly a year later, after a painful testimony from me, he was convicted to 40 years in prison with a 32-year suspension for abduction and intent to defile. Matt, let's never meet again. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.